But again, sticking with the Nigerian stock market, what's the playbook for the equities market in the month of November? That's what Adedayo Bakare, investment analyst at Afrinvest, is talking to us about this morning. You heard about those earnings. They're coming in droves, but the investor sentiment spat last week. Perhaps a bit of end-month adjustment, but year-to-date, we're negative nearly 17% on the local bourse. That's very significant for the year. So we're now down to the final 60 trading days. If you take away the weekends, it's far less than that. So how do we trade the market for the remaining part of the year and this month, to be specific? We still have expectations of more earnings coming through. So that's what Adedayo Bakare is talking about when he's joining us for this conversation right now. Adedayo Bakare, good morning. Welcome to the show. Hope you had a very great weekend.
1 2.
Yes, 1 2 1 2. Let's get it started. Let's get the show on. Adedayo, what's your take on the month we just finished?
Okay, so October was, a turbulent month as well. We've had, throughout the year, since the elections, since the conclusion of the elections, we've had, continuous, bearish sentiment in the market, and that was what we saw, in October as well. Now, I think October got interesting a bit later into the month due to all kinds of CBN policies issued by the CBN during the month. Also, we know that the recent border closure by the federal government of Nigeria too has affected sentiment somewhat, and we expect that, with the extension of the border closure till January 2020, we believe that will continue to affect investor sentiments in the market. So generally, October was not quite a good month for equities. We continue to see more participation in the fixed income market, and but with the recent, policy restricting corporates, individuals or non-bank financial institutions from participating in OMO auctions and in OMO sales and purchases in the secondary markets, we might see, a bit more participation in equities going forward.
Okay, it's been soft so far this year, but again, we can do very little about where we're coming from when it comes to the equities market. When you invest in equities, you're basically looking forward most of the time. So let's look forward for this new month. Any particular news or earnings or developments that you think, whether from the fiscal space, from the monetary authorities, we're going to have the final MPC meeting in about 3 weeks from now. So what's on your playbook? What's on your radar for this new month? We're getting fully on steam starting from today.
Okay, so in November, we're going to see some of the companies here to release earnings, publish their earnings for Q3. For the financial reporting period applicable. Now, in November, we think a lot of what we've seen throughout the year will continue to play out. But on the macro and the fiscal and monetary space, we think there are interesting developments that could shape how investors trade in the market. Now, in the fiscal space, we know the government continues to drive revenues. They're trying to, come up with all kinds of policies to improve revenues. So I'm watching this space for what the federal government will be coming out with. Also, budget deliberations in the National Assembly are expected to continue. So we expect a bit more, swifter pace in budget deliberations, and hopefully, we are hoping for an early, passing of the budget in the National Assembly. Now, in the macro space, we're going to be seeing a lot of data releases. The inflation has been on the uptrend since September. It's likely we see a sustained, trajectory in October, especially due to the recent border closure, where food prices are now very, very high. Even the harvest season would only offer a bit of a reprieve, but generally we believe prices will be on the increase. Also, in terms of numbers for GDP, we're going to see how the economy actually did in Q3 2019. in terms of our household, consumer spending and income. We're going to get a bit more sense into that as well. And finally, closer to the end of November, we're going to get a bit more sense about the CBN's, monetary policy going forward towards the end of the year and going forward. So we think, generally, investors would like to think about the general macroeconomic environment and balance that with what the CBN is doing and what the government is doing. And currently, we believe these institutions are not doing enough, to boost confidence in the market, and we could see a bit more soft participation in the market. So for November and going forward, we do not expect, a significant upturn in the market.
Okay, Adedayo, the big, well, not really big. We haven't really decided whatever happens to the minimum wage. Would that be a point of note for you when it comes to equity market investing? There'll be hundreds of billions, in fact, trillions of naira, which the central bank will be repaying in mature treasuries between now and December the 31st. So do you see this money is the minimum wage, at least at the federal level, until the state governments get their acts together and decide what to do with the labor? Do you think there'll be some measure of liquidity that some of this could find their way into the custom street where you are currently seated?
It is a possibility, but a remote one. Just last week, we looked at, in view of, the recent policy guidance by the CBN restricting participation in the OMO market, we actually looked at the opportunities in the equities. And one of the things we saw was that, for banks and for some telcos like, MTN, industrial goods company like Dangote Cement, there are actually opportunities for, investors to earn very good returns. This is in terms of dividends. So we have companies with very strong track record of paying dividends. And for most of these companies, say if you look at the likes of Zenith Bank, UBA, MTN, Dangote Cement, the dividend yield on these stocks are around double digits. So which is in some situations even higher than what you would get in the treasury bills market. And we know the earnings season is going to, dividend paying season will come, in the very near term. So for us, we could see, a bit more participation in equities, especially in stocks with, very strong fundamentals and opportunities to earn very high dividend yields. That is really the space we think investors would like to play in. But for us, generally over in the market to even, very high liquidity in the system and very limited supply of paper, we think yields will continue to go down. Treasury bills market, the bonds market will still be the prime, investor destination for most of the, Nigerian pension funds, insurance companies, and even local corporates and individuals. But lately, we've been seeing lots of policies in terms of for the government in terms of the reforms. I think investors will watch out for that too. If there's a significant improvement in terms of reforms that could, improve growth and earnings in the market, and as well as, remove a bit of uncertainty and reassure investors, we could see more flows into the equities market. But until then, we believe fixed income remains the safe space to play in.
You're the one doing all the analysis. Adedayo Bakare, I'm the one sitting down here reporting where money moves. So you guys tell us where the money moves, whether small, big, whatever, we just follow the money. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And we thank you for tuning off the current trading week with some of these analysis for our viewers here and around the world. Thank you, Adedayo Bakare from Afrinvest.